Thank you for watching Retro Tech Toys. Back again. This episode, we're going to look at some NES games. I've picked a few up that aren't working, supposedly, and there are a couple of others that I've had for a while, and they're just not working. So we're going to check those out today. We're going to open them up and see if we can do anything about fixing them. I'm really excited to do this, so let's get started. All right, we're back, and I've got a couple of NES games here. I've got Amagon and Skyshark and Captain Skyhawk and a couple of other games that I'd really like to be able to play, but they're supposedly not working. Amagon, that is my game. I've had that for a little while, and I've never gotten to play it. And I put it in the other day, and it just wasn't working. It wouldn't boot up. It wouldn't turn on. Nothing I could do could get it to work, so I ordered a security bit from Amazon. Now, that's the screwdriver that you need to crack open an NES cart. So I'm going to look inside, and we'll do it together and see if we can get these things working. All right, we're back here, and we're going to look at some of these games. The first one I'm going to look at is Double Dribble. This one was actually in the NES restoration video I did a while back, where I restored this very Nintendo system that we are going to use to test these games out. In the video, it had a couple of issues loading, so we're going to look at it, take it apart, see if it's filthy on the inside. I know there might be one or two capacitors in some of these games, so we'll have to see if those are in good condition. So let's go ahead and open it up. To open these up, you need this thing that's called a security bit. I got this one on Amazon for about $4 or $5, and I'll link it. It's just got a couple of different bits here. One's for Game Boy and Genesis, I believe, and one is for Nintendo. All right, that took a few minutes, and right away I see a broken plastic tab in there, and I'm trying to figure out exactly where it came from, but it's right there. And I'm going to take this out and have a look at it. It looks a little dirty here along the connector, and that's something that we can take care of. There's one little capacitor there, and it looks fine. This one looks like it's probably just pretty dirty. Now, I've cleaned this before, but I couldn't get all the way up in there, so hopefully taking this apart and giving it a really good clean right now will make a lot of difference. So typically to do this, I just use some isopropyl alcohol because it's quick to evaporate. And right there you can see some gunk that I wasn't able to get before, and it's really gross. I'm hoping this makes a difference. And make sure if your cotton swab gets dirty, you're able to get a new one, because you don't want to rub all that grime back on there. And I'm just going to clean around some areas on the PCB, just to make sure there's no dust. And I don't see any points that might look like I need to reflow. So this is likely just a case of a really dirty cartridge. So let's go ahead and put this one back together. I'm not going to screw it in, but I'll put it back together and we'll test it to see if it works. All right, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and pop it into the Nintendo. I have a Zelda Gold cart that I was testing earlier. This one has a couple of problems as well. You saw it playing in the intro, but it doesn't like to start up every time. One good thing about it, though, is that the original battery is still in there, and it works perfectly. All right, let's check this out. Look at that. That started right up, so it was just really filthy in spots that I could not get without taking it apart. And if you're wondering how I'm playing this right now, I am literally playing this in the viewfinder of the camera. I can't see the TV screen. But yeah, it works, so on to the next one. All right, Rad Racer is our next cartridge. This one also doesn't like to start up. I got this in a lot where they said the games didn't function. I gave it a little bit of a clean, and sometimes it turns on, sometimes it doesn't. Actually, before I take it apart, I'll show you guys what it does. It does absolutely nothing. I've turned the Nintendo on. It's not doing anything right now. Still not doing anything. Okay, I just got a solid light. Is it going to work? There it goes. So this one has some issues as well. So let's get it taken apart. And by the way, I just want to say that I was inspired to start doing this and ordering the security bit by watching John Riggs' YouTube channel. He has what he calls open cart surgery, which is really cool. And I decided, hey, I've got some Nintendo games. Let me get these things fixed. And I'm going to start collecting for NES. So I've been watching his videos quite a lot, and I was super inspired. So if you haven't checked out his series on fixing NES cartridges and other game console cartridges, go check it out, because it's certainly absolutely worth watching. Probably even more so than my stuff. All right, here we go. Yeah, this is absolutely filthy. It's hard to show you, but the connectors are almost black. Like I said, I have cleaned this. I don't know if that's corrosion or what that is, but let's just go ahead and give it a clean, and if that doesn't work, we'll look at some of the traces. I've already looked at the capacitor. It looks good. I don't expect anything to be, terribly wrong with the capacitors. Let's go ahead and see if we can clean this up, though. I'm getting some dirt off of it, but that is what appears to be corrosion. So I may need to use something a little stronger than just a cotton swab. That's really nasty on the back. What I'm going to do is, I've got a lint-free cloth here. I'm just going to try to see if I can scrub a little bit of that off. Yeah, it's hard to see because the cloth is black, but let's go ahead and put this one back in, and we'll see if it works. There it is, Rad Racer. Hey, look at that. It looks like it works. Let me yeah. We have Rad Racer. That's really cool. So this is a game that I played a lot as a kid. Yeah, I'm really excited. We've got 2 out of 2 of these working so far. Don't you just love that music? Oh, yeah. Next here we have Skyshark. Let's put this one in and see what happens. And I got the blinking light again. Now, I heard music for a second, then it stopped. All right. Let's open her up. Oh yeah, this one is pretty rough looking. It's got almost what seems to be some adhesive, like a white adhesive line going right above the connector. And let's flip it over. And more of the same right there. And it's not dust because I rubbed at it and nothing happened. Again, the capacitor looks good. And there you go. You can see something right there. There's some nasty, nasty corrosion in there. It's not coming from the PCB, so I wonder if something was spilled on this. Maybe it got down inside. So let's see what we can do. Let's get in there. Yeah, it's coming up with rubbing alcohol. So that's probably, someone probably spilled a drink or something else in there. I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty sick. I mean, hopefully, there's not really any corrosion. This cartridge actually does look a little better than the last one. That corrosion cleaned off pretty well, and the connecting points here look good too. The traces are fine, so there was no corrosion that I can tell. Let's go ahead and test it out. I mean, we've been pretty lucky, so let's hope that luck holds. I'm going to get this cleaned out too, actually. All right, that was pretty nasty, but it's clean now. All right, here it is. Got Skyshark. Let's test it out. Crossing my fingers here. We've done well so far. Haha, look at that. Look at that. Yep, looks brilliant. So that was awesome. And I really like this game a lot. I like these overhead shooters. I mean, I even like the side-scrolling shooters. Like, they're just a lot of fun. All right, I've got time for one more. And let's look at this Amagon. I mean, it's a mess. It's got all this gross stuff here. I mean, this looks like this was probably a rental. And it's got some nasty stuff. Like, somebody put a label down inside of there. I don't know if you can see it. Just to show you what it does, this one just gives you nothing. You turn it on, and it's just a blank screen. I've almost gotten some music out of it a couple of times. But yeah, nothing. It goes from blinking light to solid blank screen. And this is the one that I'm really concerned about. Get that open. And oh, this is going to be really difficult to show you folks, but the traces are okay going to the connector, but once you get to the connecting pins, it looks like someone scratched it up with a sharp object. We might have to come back to this one later, but I'm going to give this one a good cleaning. We've already been at this for a little while. We've 3 for 3. I believe this is going to be the one that's not going to work. So that's okay, though. Let's look at it, and we'll find out. There are a couple of experiments that I wouldn't mind trying with this if we can't get it working. I'm wondering if just a little blob of solder on the pins that look super scratched up might do something. Just the tiniest blob of solder. I'm not going to try that today. I pulled out the soldering iron, but I just don't want to try that right now. I want to look at some other stuff first. But I did pull out the soldering iron in case anything needed to be reflowed. And we've not run into that problem yet. I mean, it's a little dirty. I'm getting a little bit of dirt off of it. But it's really not that bad. I mean, it's just, and not only are there scratch marks, but the pins are really dark. I'm going to look into some methods. I think there are some cleaners, and I think I do have some, that you can sort of buff those, but I wouldn't want to go too hard because it looks like someone scratched them with a knife or something. I don't have a high opinion of this one working. Outlook not so good. All right, let's try this out and see if we've got anything. I'm doubtful. No, we've still got that blank screen. I think there's something seriously wrong with this one. And I think I'm going to have to do a separate episode just experimenting with this cartridge. There are several things that I do want to try, but they're going to take a while, and I just don't think we have time for this video. So Amagon is still messed up, and we're going to keep working on this one on a future video. And I do have a few more that we can work on as well. So right now, out of the 4 that we worked on, we got 3 of them working. Double Dribble, Rad Racer, and Skyshark. So that's not bad, guys. That's better than I thought. I did Zelda off camera. I did not do that for this episode. I did this one off camera, and I was expecting there to be horrible battery corrosion because I just picked this up. And no, the battery still works. There's no leakage. It's got a couple of issues with loading, but we'll look at this one on the next video. And I'm going to see if there's a method to change out that Maxell battery that's in there, because even though it still works, it's only a matter of time before it won't. All right, well, thanks for coming along with me as I fix some of these cartridges. The first episode of this was pretty successful, actually, and we'll look at some more later. If you like this kind of stuff, let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching Retro Tech Toys. We'll see you next time.